Rhian is just out of prison. Sorry, no, you're here from Radio 4, the BBC.
I'm here from the BBC, but not just Radio 4, for all of audio speech.
Wow. I asked you a question before we began, and I said don't answer until we get on. In terms of Radio 4, such an institution in the United Kingdom in broadcasting, in terms of podcasting then, is podcasting on the same level of importance as the linear FM output? Has it overtaken it? Where do you see it?
I think we're going to say it moves around a little bit, depending on which audience you're trying to reach. So obviously we've got our lovely Heartland listeners, and we need to make sure that they're happy and they're enjoying our programmes. And then we've got our new audiences that we want to reach with podcasts. And then we've got programmes that are both podcasts and on linear, which means we add most value for money, right, for the licence fee payer.
See, you're a politician. You kept everyone happy there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's my job, isn't it? We are trying to keep everyone happy. I mean, there's another bit to my job, which is about specifically going out for new audiences that aren't anywhere near the BBC, let alone Radio 4. So what do we commission for them that goes out and looks for them? One of the things we've done recently is a podcast which is weekly, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week, which is around Diddy on trial. And that's having real success in finding a new audience. And they mostly say, I didn't think the BBC would do that. So Some of that content is what I'm interested in as well.
Now, we often hear of these big podcasts that do so well and they become these kind of phenomena in the culture. But like, what's the ratio? How many podcasts would the BBC be putting out that really don't hit the mark or never really make an impact?
Not many, I hope. Otherwise, we're not doing very well. I mean, we are fortunate because quite a lot of the things that we do can go on a radio network as well. So we're not wasting money, right? Big deal. And also you can use that mechanism to reach a new audience, put on-demand content in front of them if they're just live listeners. How much do we do that doesn't quite work? I think we're like the rest of the industry, like constantly trying and trying to figure out where the next audience is and failing as well, you know. Yeah.
Is that one of the preconditions that when you pitch a podcast that it has to work on radio as well, that there must be a linear benefit to this?
No. So I am busy having all my cakes and eating them all at the same time. So I think it's about intention. So when I am commissioning something, who is it for? Which audience, which platform, which radio station, which form, all those questions you're asking yourself. So it's more of a sophisticated equation when you commission something now than it was. Have I answered your question?
Yes, perfectly, beautifully. Spectacularly. Let me ask you a bit about the anthropology or the evolution of the podcast. You were talking about that, or you will be talking about it, kind of where is it now? Is it still at the baby stages? Is it in full gallop?
I'm speaking to quite a few people here. It means different things to different people in different countries, commercial versus public service. People are at different stages. And I think that would be my main bit of advice, is stay agile. Try not to keep within any certain rules. Always think about where is the ball going next on the pitch rather than where it is at the moment. Because the audience is learning very fast about what it wants and doesn't want. So you have to stay agile.
Are you finally, are you finding that you are able to bring your Heartland Radio 4 listeners over to your podcast offering?
There's a massive growth in podcasts. I mean, every quarter we see that there's an increase, and I think that's been for the last, for as long as I can remember, since records began. The numbers keep going up. So we are obviously doing a job there, I think, quite successfully. Some people will always want live radio. I love live radio.
Yeah.
There's certain times a day when all I want is live radio show.
Rhian, are you bringing them back the other way? Are the people who are coming in through the podcast, are they ending up as FM Radio 4 listeners? If it's a Radio 4 podcast?
That is more tricky. I think that is a trickier job. We want to do that, and we do quite a lot of promotion between the two. I think it's hard because I want things to listen to when I want them, is kind of what people learn. So lots of love for our live schedule. It's very, very important. It really is,
and the podcast, please tune in to the FM station, please.
Just listen more. Listen all the time.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you've got to feel sorry for those listeners out there, constantly offering them things to do and places to go. I love it.
But the great thing is, it's all there in BBC Sounds.
It's all there. Thank you very much for doing my job for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen live, listen back, listen to stuff that hasn't even been produced yet in the future. I don't know how they do it, but it's great.
Just listen.
Rhian, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.